Check out my newest podcast, Queening Out with Laganja Estranja, where we cover all things All-Star 7 and her Season 6 stuff and so much more. So check it out now, wherever you listen to your podcast.
Congratulations on being able to go across to your home base of France.
Yes.
Hosting Drag
Race
France.
Yes.
How was that?
You know, if you would have told me a few years ago that I would not only be able to be part of Drag Race US, but then bring back that light to my country and be able to give the same opportunity to drag queens that doesn't have a green card and that live in France, I would have never believed you. And it's just very humbling, and I had such a great time doing it. A little scoop, we already shot the season, and it's gonna come out sooner than you motherfucking think, baby.
Well, actually, the trailer just dropped right now, according to my watch. Bam, bam.
We'll be right back.
Were you, how was it? Were you nervous at all?
You know, whenever someone asks you, like, hey, do you want to do Ru's job in your country and see, you have to have an imposter syndrome. Like, you have to feel like, am I good enough? Do I have any advice, that are good enough for these girls?
Yeah.
And then I just knew that my heart was at the right place. I knew that I competed with all my heart to showcase my country in the best way possible. And I know that I do travel around the world doing drag.
Yeah.
So whenever I had to remind this to myself, I sat down and I was like, I'm good for the job, and I can actually just teach these bitches something. And we did. But I went there with like a big sister energy rather than a mother.
Okay.
Like think more Project Runway, that old man in the workroom.
Tim Gunn?
Sorry for calling you old man, Tim Gunn. But that's the energy that I was bringing. I was like, I'm here really to help you succeed.
That's good. And I want to ask you, because some of the internet fandom went negative towards you being named as the host. Oh, she got out earlier, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the negative feedback and criticism?
Well, I have one question. Did Ru win his season? Period. Did Brooke win her season? Period. Did Jiggly win her season? Period. Did Pangina do a season? Period. You don't have to win a season to be able to help being a good sister and help people go through it. Some people are good at doing competitions, and some people are good at giving advice. And I think I'm great at giving advice, baby. And until you watch the season, maybe stop judging.
I love that.
Okay.
I also think, too, in Drag Race, it's such a big phenomenon, and there's so many different types of drag.
Yes.
So if a challenge is not right for you just because, hey, you know what, I'm not the greatest at comedy, but I can pull out a fucking performance out of my ass, and it's great. Everybody has different strengths, and everybody has different weaknesses.
Right. And also, something that people have a tendency to forget is that they saw me compete in English. I'm going to host in French.
Wow.
It's like you can judge me being an immigrant in an American competition show, but you don't know what I would have done in a French competition.
Yeah.
So I think I paid my dues, and I'm really, really going there with full of love. And at the end of the day, what really matters is the girls that are going to be introduced to the world.
Yes.
And they are incredible. So I'm really excited for everybody to see it and to have a better understanding of what French drag is.
Do you think that there's a big difference between like French and American drag?
I mean, I think that ultimately the passion remains the same, but there is some layers that changes a little bit. The same way as we see Holland or Spain or Italy, we see some things where, these queens are maybe a little better at fashion, or they're a little better at being camp.
Yes.
They're a little better at doing makeup. France has definitely a niche, and I'm really excited for people to see it.
I just saw this this lovely lady on my little computer screen for a little teaser last night. Jiggly Caliente!
Hi!
How are you doing? That's so exciting!
I'm good. Excited, a little nervous. Actually, a lot nervous. I hope I did it right.
Are you more nervous about, like, are you more nervous now than you were when you did it?
I'm more nervous now because I hope I said the right things to the girls. Because it could go real, it
can go either way,
very tempted. Very tempted to be this evil bitch. But when I got there, realizing I literally was in their footsteps.
Yes.
And I wouldn't want anyone to tell me anything disparaging or crude or malicious for TV time.
Yes.
So, and I know it could easily be done that way. And I didn't want to do that. I have too much respect for the girls, too much respect to the franchise. I have too much respect for myself to do that. So I was like, okay, no. But if there was somebody that was going to be working my nerves, I would have been like, yeah, bitch, you got to go.
How did that come to be? Like, were you at home one day and this phone rang and you're like, oh, okay.
It was months, and I didn't even know.
Really?
Yeah, it all started with after my promo leak.
Yes.
So when it took one butterfly sleeve to get the attention of the whole world, mainly the Philippines, on me, and the support just overcame, and it was done. It was like, and they were like, so would you be interested? They were like, if it happens, would you be interested?
Yeah.
And what bitch is gonna say
say
no?
no, yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And I had a feeling, I'm pretty sure my other sisters were also like being asked. So I was just like, what? For me, I didn't think my chances were gonna be. So I was like, Angina is like the first Filipina queen.
Yes.
Like OG, and then Manila, who's so beloved by the fandom. So I was like, oh, girl. I was like, this ain't gonna happen. I was like, okay, it was one of those, it was nice to be asked.
And then
Thank
you just kind of put it aside.
Not even put it aside, I took it out of my head. Because I didn't think it was gonna happen. And then lo and behold, a couple months later, yes, this is gonna happen. We're getting you the visa, you're flying to the Philippines. I was like, oh shit, y'all are for real.
And you're like,
okay.
I gotta have some looks now.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, now this is All-Stars all over again. Now I gotta get all these looks together. But at least this time it came with a budget. So I was like, okay, God, thank you.
Did you wear any outfits that you didn't wear on All Stars that you had ready to go?
No.
No.
None of this shit fit. And I was like, okay, no. But it was like, I did wear my promo look.
Okay.
I did wear that because I just felt like I had to.
Yeah.
So that's what I felt like got me there. So I needed to wear it for that.
It's so good seeing your career trajectory, you coming into your own, you're being like, you fully are, I feel like you're fully jiggly now. You know what I'm saying? Like you are.
Valentina calls it like my final evolution.
Yes.
She was
You're
like
the Pokemon.
She was like, you went from Jigglypuff to Wigglytuff. And I was like,
that's a good one.
I was like, I hate you, Valentina. Get off the phone.